Babe, new FunkyFrogBait video just dropped. Influencers are ruining houses.
Hi, how are ya? I'm Darla. Does your property showcase any unique elements or character? Not for long. My passions include demolition, destruction, and Pilates. Oh, yeah. When I'm not giving homes hysterectomies, I'm snorting sawdust off a support beam in a gated community with men whose credit scores are California sober. Remember, ladies, the only thing standing between you and the beige, open concept modern farmhouse of your Instagrammable dreams is a couple of wine coolers and several hundred square feet of drywall. Renovation isn't just a hobby for me, it's a lifelong commitment, and I won't stop till my environment is as colorless as a Lithuanian hockey team. I find I thrive without professional oversight. The only help I need is from my silent and obedient husband, who I proposed to in a Michael's parking lot in 2009. A regrettably less exciting commitment. So come on, ladies, roll up your sleeves. What are you waiting for?
That was a crime against white women. That was like actually like a hate crime.
My social media fixations lately has been watching influencers spend endless amounts of time and money making their homes uglier and worse. Shredding wallpaper, shattering tiles, and of course, paint. So much paint.
Oh, I can't lie. I love this is actually my biggest sin. I love to watch those videos of the people who are like, I don't really know what to do, so I'm painting my counters. It's like addicting. It is actually addicting.
You put a paint roller in the hands of a couple going through a joint midlife crisis, and the terror they wield over the local housing market is incredible to behold. They told me not to paint the woodwork. Who are they? And why didn't you listen to them? What did those quaint little stained glass birds do to deserve having their staircase nuked with the concentrated power of the entire Hallmark cinematic universe?
Let's talk about my most controversial project, which is putting cement on my wood fireplace.
Here's a joke. What do renovators and lesbians have in common? They're not interested in exposed wood, apparently. But seriously,
boo, get off the stage.
Why do so many renovators think that covering original wood fixtures...
Oh, as a reminder, yes. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder for everyone, Marianne. Pronouns for this YouTuber are they, them.
...qualifies as an upgrade.
Now look, it's beautiful, but it's giving church, and I wanted a more modern vibe. So I mixed up some cement and I slapped it right on. The internet was very angry with me.
Rest in peace. The words modern vibe are basically a death knell for a house. If you're watching a renovation video and you happen to hear the words modern vibe.
I don't even mind if she wanted to paint the wood, but why? Why? Why would you ever put cement on?
Be prepared to watch an architectural atrocity unfold before you.
So I ended up staining it, and it turned out so freaking good. I absolutely love it, but let me know. Do you think that I made a mistake doing this?
Yes, you did, but...
I mean, I don't dislike it, but I think it looked better before.
I absolutely love it, but let me...
I can appreciate brutalism, but like, it would look...
You know, do you think that I made a mistake doing this?
Yes, you did. But Lexi, don't feel too bad. It's not just you. Whether it's flippers threatening lower income neighborhoods with both kinds of whitewashing, or people just deciding to DIY.
Stop! They're painting the tile. Stop painting tile. Stop.
Their own dwellings. There seems to be an overwhelming push from renovators to eradicate color and detail, to replace the unique charm of individual homes with the same safely resellable copy-paste designs. Because why have...
And here's the thing for me. If you want to do it to your house, you want to live in a sterile hospital, whatever, man, that's your right. You bought the house, it's yours. Do whatever the fuck you want with it, as long as you don't tell me what to do with mine. It's the people who are flippers who are buying gorgeous houses, destroying them, and then selling them.
Have a warm, hospitable living space when you can mix things up with a Siberian cell block look.
Did you say Siberian cell block? Wow, that sounds so modern and minimalist.
Whoa, what are you doing?
This place is a dump. I'm here to upgrade it.
I'd really rather you not. do that?
No, don't worry, girly. I'm doing you a favor.
Well, could you at least keep it down? I'm trying to make a video here.
Come with me while I turn this sad, outdated apartment into something somebody would actually.
Now, I know what some of you are going to say. It's their house. They can do whatever they want to it. And that's absolutely true. But they're also posting their process online for the public. So I feel, as a member of the public, that I should have the right to about it. And from what I can tell reading the comment sections underneath these videos, a lot of people, like me, are tired of watching the life and soul HGTV'd out of homes.
My kids refused to speak to me for 3 months until I agreed to stop watching HGTV in the living room. They considered my enthusiasm situationally inappropriate, whatever that means.
Oh my god. Just be careful with that. If you thought white paint and cemented fireplaces were bad, you're going to be gutted when you see the gorgeous southern mansion that this family gutted.
Let's talk about these stairs. Y'all are absolutely hating the fact that we took these stairs out. Don't get me wrong, they were absolutely gorgeous. But honestly, just not ideal.
Real estate gods, why do you always give your most beautiful homes to your most ungrateful buyers? The up thing is this house is actually not that far away from me. I guess I should have busted a nut to buy it before these barbarians.
Bust a nut to buy a house.
To get to the kitchen, you either had
Okay, like, don't get me wrong. The green carpet is so dated and it's so nasty. Like, straight up, it is giving grandma. But, like, besides the green carpet, that staircase was gorgeous. Wait, where's 615? The green carpet gotta go. I agree. Personally, the green carpet gotta go. If you guys like green carpet, just go outside. There's this thing called grass. You don't need it inside your house. I don't want to feel like I live on a pool table. But I'm scared to see what they did to the staircase. Because this staircase is gorgeous. It also like breaks this big room apart, this huge space apart into 2 separate sections very ideally.
but honestly,
House is actually not that.
Bust a nut to buy a house.
to get to the kitchen, you either had to go through the living room, and y'all, I can't wait for y'all to see the after, or you had to walk under the staircase. Donnie 6'2", and it's just not ideal to walk under to get to the kitchen.
Grow the fuck up.
Find a house that doesn't mildly inconvenience your gargantuan husband. Why did you have to destroy this one?
Even through every single door that you come through, the stairs were the focal point and blocked the beautiful view into the backyard. So it just made sense to me that they needed to be taken out. I think that this is just so much more family friendly. And here's a sneak peek at the new stairs. Bye.
I missed it. Please rewind. She
These stairs. Y'all are absolutely hating the fact that we took these stairs out. Don't get me wrong, they were absolutely gorgeous.
She took these stairs out to create this. We need to take away women's right for credit cards. This is illegal. What the fuck are we doing? We made a mistake. We made a fucking mistake, dude. This is not okay. This is not okay. It's giving Fallout 4 settlement editor. Hilson, thanks for the gift sub.
Jail time, okay? The house act. I think a moment of silence is in order. This should be considered an act of domestic terrorism, you should serve jail time, okay? The house could have easily been restored with just a little work. This is the equivalent of someone going in for like half a syringe of lip filler and getting one of those scary Dr. Kim facelifts instead.
Y'all's comments are literally giving me nightmares. But that's okay. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. But I'm going to circle back that this is our dream house and we're just
They had the money to buy the house, but sadly they can't buy any taste.
trying to make it as homey as possible.
Guys, we just had to buy it. It's literally our dream house. We just hate the walls and the floors and the staircase and the
We are going for the modern farmhouse look, but hope y'all still follow along for the journey.
modern farmhouse, you say. Yeah,
It does not look like modern farmhouse. It looks like I built a structure in Fortnite so I can get some fucking kills in Tomato Town. That's what it looks like. It doesn't look like a farmhouse.
AI generated Donald Trump t-shirt was a bit of a giveaway. Look, even Donald's upset about it. It was a beautiful staircase, the best staircase even. I can't believe you got rid of it.
We did test out some paint colors, and I'll drop them right here for y'all to check out and let me know.
Wait, guys. Imagine complaining about someone else's home. L video. She's just complaining to complain. Oh, do you not like that kind of content? Would you prefer if we didn't do this content? Would that be better for you? You can come back tomorrow. Oh, wait, I gave you only a 10-minute timeout. Let me fix that really quickly. One sec. Just come back tomorrow. No big deal. No big deal, man. I know you don't like this content. I'll help you out. Don't worry about it. All good. I'll see you tomorrow.
You know your favorite. I feel like this is the
So are they not free to do what they want with a home they bought with their own money? Is someone not free to make what content they want on YouTube when they made the YouTube channel with their own hard sweat, labor, blood, cum? If you're allowed, if you're fucking doing some content, making a house worse that everybody hates, people are allowed to make fun of you for it, actually. If they're free to do what they want, we're free to criticize, actually. Just as an idea. Consider applying your logic to the person making the video. I know, crazy. I know, but crazy. Okay,
the hardest thing. I am starting to love City Loft. It's the second color
Why can't I hear the video? Oh, I think my earbud died.
from the left. Scrolling on Instagram, I'm just loving all white houses.
But of course, we can't talk about bad renovations without addressing the German schmear incident. And no, I'm not
God. I've seen
talking
this.
about a
I've seen this.
delicious bagel topping. I'm talking about a couple of flippers from Florida who made the internet flip out when they decided to update a 1970s home to turn a profit.
Today we are taking this fireplace from hobbitcore to cottagecore. Now,
Okay, straight up,
Home to turn a profit.
today we are taking this fireplace.
this was in the Jarvis video. We saw this one. Yeah. I will say one thing, which is I do think that some of this needed to be updated. I really like the kiln look, or whatever the fuck you would call this. I love the way that it looks, but I do think that it kind of doesn't belong relative to the rest of the home. Like, I don't really agree with whatever's happening here. And the walls are just kind of like white. Like, I just don't think that the
Denims should say
fireplace.
the green carpet was nasty, but did it occur to you that the previous owner was maybe a nasty girl and found or lost someone who matched their freak/nasty? Just a thought.
Maybe you should stop thinking. So I agree that, like, it feels like it kind of needs like a stone background or maybe like wood paneling or something. Like the all white house that feels super modern and then like the randomly like ancient looking fireplace. Maybe like the wall behind it needs to be darker or something. It just doesn't feel like it matches. It just feels like it looks a little bit out of place. I assume it's because the house used to not have white walls and then it got renovated and someone painted the walls white. The fireplace just kind of sticks out a little bit. So I agree that there is work that can be done here, especially next to these like lights, these modern futuristic looking fucking lights next to this like D&D looking fireplace. I agree. It can use a little bit of work, but I don't think it's the fireplace that needs to be changed. I think it's everything around the fireplace that needs to be changed. You guys, I presume, agree.
This fireplace from Hobbitcore to cottagecore. Now, a lot of you suggested that we should just clean the stones and it would brighten it. However, these stones have very large, dark grout lines that just look dirty even after a good scrub. So we're going to be trying the German smear technique.
I guarantee, no matter how bad you think this is gonna look, that, it's worse than that.
Let me just say that this was a true trust the process project for us, as it was looking a bit scary before we started smoothing out the grout lines. We do still need to complete the look by finding a nice chunky wood mantle and of course replacing those ugly sconces, but here is how it turned out. What do you think?
You know, you should keep the ugly sconces. Hopefully they'll distract from the ugly fireplace. It definitely isn't Hobbitcore anymore. I don't really know what kind of core it is, though. I feel like the Germans wouldn't approve. If you're German, comment down below your appraisal of this schmear. This was just one of many unpopular decisions this couple made while renovating. Not a—
Those ugly
It just like, can we get a moment of silence? Can we just get a moment of silence for the gorgeous fireplace that now looks like it's made out of fucking paper mache? What the fuck? What the fuck? Again, I am not an unreasonable woman, guys. Okay, I am a very reasonable person. Okay, I agree.
Florida, who made the internet flip out when they decided—
suggested that we should just clean the stones and it would brighten it. However, they turned to cottagecore. Now, a lot
I agree that it just needed something, the wall behind it needed to be changed. And I think the lights behind it should be changed as well. It does stick out a little bit. This was not the solution. This was not the solution. It was not this. It was not this. It was not this.
those ugly sconces, but here is how it turned out. What do you think?
You know, you should keep the ugly sconces. Hopefully they'll distract from the ugly fireplace. It definitely isn't Hobbitcore anymore. I don't really know what kind of core it is, though. I feel like the Germans wouldn't approve. If you're German, comment down below your appraisal of this schmear. This was just one of many unpopular decisions this couple made while renovating. Not a single room in this house was spared from their creativity.
Hands down, one of the coolest features of this property is this gorgeous dedicated studio space. Currently, the main wall has this mid-century wood shelving unit that I love. However, we have something even better planned for this wall.
I'm sure you do.
Studio was advertised as an artist studio, and we quickly realized it was just lacking the art. Crazy how much happier it truly makes this space feel. Comment below how you would use a studio space like this. I can imagine it so many different ways.
That looks like something that would be painted on the side of a restaurant in a tax code where I am going to be overcharged for underseasoned tacos. If you're a tourist in an unfamiliar city, consider that font a portent of doom for your wallet. Also, maybe I'm just a raging narc. That font talk strong.
Happier it truly makes this space feel. Comment below how you would use a studio space.
God, why have you given the people with the worst taste the most money? Why? Why? Can I just say, it straight up just looks like the seating for a restaurant now. Like, put some tables in here, and it straight up is like the seating for like the place you can go to get $20 salads that suck. Cantina.
Space like this, I can imagine it so many different ways.
That looks like something that was for underseasoned tacos. If you're a toad where I'm going to be overcharged for underseasoned tacos. If you're a tourist in an unfamiliar city, consider that font a portent of doom for your wallet. Also, maybe I'm just a raging narcissist, but
I was so CC'd. I was so stunlocked by what I saw that I didn't even hear anything that the YouTuber was saying. And I didn't realize I made the same joke that they made because I wasn't hearing anything they were saying because I was too busy getting distraught over what they just did.
I feel like most artists would prefer their own art to be on the walls of their art studio, not someone else's. However, nothing could have prepared me for what they were about to do to the living room ceiling.
This vaulted ceiling was just begging for a beam.
Me too, girl. Me too.
We saw that.
And today we are finally installing one. Due to the size of the beam needed, we knew we'd have to find a faux beam for us to physically be able to have the strength to lift. We found these vintage style wood beams made from foam from a company called Outwater, which ended up being the perfect solution.
Why do I punish myself like this? It looks like a set piece for an underfunded theater. Actually, I'm pretty sure I saw this backstage senior year when I was playing the baker's wife in a high school production of Into the Woods.
Of course, this room was just long enough that we had to use the second beam, but luckily they have these rubber straps to hide the seam.
I want to make a joke about rubber straps so bad, but I'm pretty sure I've maxed out my innuendo quota for this video. This looks like something I would see on the ceiling of a rainforest.
It looks like a Snickers bar, but veinless.
Innuendo quota for this video. This looks like something
I'm not against using cheaper materials or lighter materials. Okay? I'm not against it. I'm not. But you gotta texture that shit, dude. Come on. You have no excuse. You have no excuse for making bad prop-looking materials when cosplayers exist. Okay? All right. When cosplayers can manage to make styrofoam look like metal, like real metal, you have no excuse to have a fucking Tootsie Roll at the top of your ceiling. It's just like everyone has seen. Trying to see if I can find one. Like this shit. I'm sorry, dude. If cosplayers can do this, what is your excuse? What's your excuse? Like literally, like. What is it? What?
I would see on the ceiling of a rainforest cafe. All we need is some artificial shrubbery, some ominous animal noises, put a rumble in the jungle rap in my hand, and I'm there. I'm transported.
For lighting, we wanted a mid-century kind of funky light to keep in the 70s spirit for the space, and I am so obsessed with the one we ended up choosing.
Oh, the 70s spirit, of course. You mean the 70s spirit that the house that was built in the 70s already had before you bought it? That 70s spirit? Also, I'm no contractor, but attaching lighting to a foam support beam, that's objectively a bad idea, right? Like, we can all agree on that. Throughout the entire renovation process, the response from
we can only hope that it falls on one of them and changes their brain chemicals enough that they understand what they've done wrong.
viewers was overwhelmingly negative, but this couple ignored all advice and suggested alternatives, instead making fun of the commenters for being upset about the changes.
Never in my life did I think a fireplace DIY would trigger the internet so much that the app would have to turn on anti-bullying mode. Have you been personally impacted by this fireplace makeover? And we are so happy with how the living room is coming along. Hopefully you agree, but if not, I am sure you will let us know.
To say we got a lot of backlash for our choices online as we worked on this home would be an understatement, but I am incredibly proud of us for seeing this through.
And that kind of weird antagonistic relationship between these types of accounts and their comment sections is a consistent pattern that I've seen.
Thought I'd give you a little before picture. And yes, we ripped it all out. I was most worried about people's opinions, but at the end of the day, this is our house. We are making this our dream home. It was gorgeous. It was known as the $1 million bathroom. Yep, you got that right. We ripped it out all too.
These renovators are constantly asking for opinions about their work, but they never listen to any criticism and act like victims when they get an honest answer, as if they're being forced to film it and put it online instead of just doing it for themselves. If a millennial knocks down a wall and no one's there to post it, does it make a sound? But of course they keep posting this stuff. They get far more engagement from making people upset than listening to their audience. If you go to any one of these pages, you'll quickly recognize that the videos that do the best are the most divisive. Pissing people off is profitable in an attention-based economy. Often what they're doing is so pointlessly destructive.
The I stand with Trump shirt, as if we needed to know that a conservatoid had no taste.
In an attention-based economy. Often what they're doing is so pointlessly destructive that it becomes painfully obvious rage bait, especially with lower investment projects like furniture. Look at the difference in viewership between two almost identical videos. One where a stool is stained and restored, another where it's purposefully damaged. I mean, look at this one. She's just slapping the paint roller on the top of the table without even using painter's tape. This one might ruffle some feathers. I know what you're doing, Bria. So to anyone who feels like I'm being a bully, remember, this is a balanced ecosystem. They get attention by being dumb on the internet, and I get attention by making fun of them for being dumb on the internet. It's an entertaining, symbiotic relationship that we share.
See, maybe if the chatters that were talking all that shit earlier were willing to just wait 5 minutes, they would realize that this is ethical bullying. Not all bullying is ethical, but this is definitely ethical. Also, symbiotic.
Consistent backlash, the Florida flippers were excited to silence the haters by announcing that they had managed to sell the house and turn a profit.
Despite most of the internet actively hating our every decision on that 70s home flip, it is officially sold, so let's break down the numbers and see if we truly ruined it. Subtract our closing costs, the original purchase price, along with our renovation budget, you will see that we made about $92,000 for 4 months of work. So while some of you were sitting and criticizing our choices, we were out here actually putting in the work and building wealth for our growing family. Also, we didn't go over our profits from social media, but go ahead and write a hate comment. It will help fund our next flip.
I don't think selling the house necessarily indicates that the changes you made to the house were good, and this may be a controversial take, but I feel like being a flipper has become an intrinsically parasitic practice. In all fairness, a given flipper might do a fantastic job of breathing life into an old residence, but I feel like the whole process...
I was looking at, you guys know the Delulu moment where you're looking at houses on Zillow for no reason, even though you can't afford them. I was doing that. And I was taking a look at some properties, and usually, again, not that I'm going to buy them, but usually I tend to like looking at newer properties, because if I was to buy a property, I would want one that was a newer unit, right? You just run into less issues with newer units, less likely that there's like termites or some shit or mold or whatever the fuck, damage in some way that's hard to fix. And after about 15 minutes, you're super picky about homes you'll never afford. Okay, I'm glad that you understand what I'm talking about. So I was looking at these properties, and I saw one that really stuck out. I was like, wow, if I could, I would buy this one. And I'm like, look at it. I was like, wow, this is a really nice unit. And I show a friend of mine who's a California native. And they're like, oh, this is an old property. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, look at the pool. Like, what about the pool? And they were like, it's bean shaped. They don't make bean-shaped pools anymore. They just make the rectangle-shaped pools nowadays. And I was like, bean-shaped. Oh, it's bean-shaped. You're right, it is bean-shaped. Take a look at the property. As it would turn out, and if anyone here is a little bit confused what I mean by bean-shaped, I'm talking about this. Generally, pools tend to be built squared or rectangled, and that's it. They don't really make the bean-shaped ones anymore, as often anymore. I was like, wait, are you right? And I'm looking at it. You're telling me a bean shaped this pool? And I was looking, I was like, wait, it looks so nice. The property looks amazing, though. And that, in my opinion, would have been an example. Obviously, I don't have the before photo, so I can't even show it to you. But that would have been, in my opinion, probably a property that was improved by flippers. That someone went in there, gutted everything, just took everything out that was old, put in nice drywall, put in nice architecture, put just nice stuff everywhere, all around. And they improved it. And they kept the bean-shaped pool. Because guess what? Sometimes when you're flipping things, it doesn't mean you change it completely and entirely. Sometimes you just improve on it. And there are flippers that actually improve on stuff. Sometimes. The problem is that I think flippers have convinced themselves that they provide value in the same way that landlords have convinced themselves that they provide value, when realistically it's more that you're just doing some of the stuff that other people don't want to do. Like a lot of houses, I'm sure you guys have seen if you've done Zillow searching, are like fixer-uppers that honestly, they just need a new kitchen. Basically, everything else is fine. They just need a new kitchen. Like the cabinets are very clearly all old and like the counter is dated as fuck. Like most places I feel like would improve if you reconstructed one of the bathrooms and one of the kitchens, and that's it. Or the kitchen, really. Usually it's just that the cabinets are really old. And the countertop, they have like the tiled countertop, which looks really dated. But for some reason, there's a group of people that do flipping that just remove all of the nice things. And then they make a profit and they're like, it must be because of my design choices. It's like, no, it's just that you bought a nice property and fixed the kitchen, which some people don't want to do. That's why you got a profit. Not because you made the house significantly better. I grew up in a mid-century home, and our street was and our street and adjacent street were all mid-century. Parents sold the home and I was curious. They took out a wall. Now it looks like a Google open office. No. Turning everything gray. Yeah. To be clear, I've seen like, I'm trying to see if I can find it. I saw at least one example. I saw at least one example of an interior designer who gets hired for projects to improve places according to what her clients want. And there are some that are so pretty. And those are based. I'll see if I can find one so you guys can see what good home decoration looks like.
Encourages renovations to be done as quickly and cheaply as possible. To do work that will last just long enough for you to jack up the price and dip, so the poor suckers you duped into buying the Frankenstein building don't even know how screwed they are until your upgrades start chipping and peeling and falling apart in less than a year. I mean, did you tell the buyers about the foam beam? More than that, flippers have the greatest incentive to get rid of the charm of outdated homes, remodeling them to be boring and colorless because, after all, the house is being designed to sell, not to be lived in.
Ultimate goal here is to take one large-sized bathroom and make two normal-sized bathrooms. This will take the house to a 3, 2.5. instead of a 3 1.5, which will increase the value.
If it's all about increasing the value of the home, then any unique features are just an obstacle to selling the property, and it should be unsurprising when these are demolished or painted over to appeal to the widest possible range of buyers. But I think there are a few other reasons for the disconnect between people posting renovation content and the people consuming it. While not a complete answer, there's definitely a generational difference at play. On average, the people who have the money and resources to renovate houses are from a different generation than the younger people who are the most active online and engaging with the videos. So the people watching tend to have a very different taste than the people posting, which is why you see all the comments specifically mourning millennial design choices. In general, millennials tend to be more interested in minimalism, while the younger generation has already started to get nostalgic for their parents' and grandparents' more opulent decorating. There's definitely an underlying resentment and helpless frustration from young people having to watch homes get ripped apart before they can even participate in a housing market with prices still so far out of reach. The way these renovators talk about the previous owners and their decisions can also be very off-putting. There's often such an air of superiority and contempt in their voices while talking about the fixtures that make an older building unique.
Let's demo the master closet, or at least that's what the previous owners called this.
Padded fabric walls, circus curtains, more padded walls.
They like their texture.
As if in a few decades, a brand new family won't be wandering through those rooms laughing at your dated choices and going through so much paint stripper.
This is how I feel when people pretend like beauty standards are always the same. That's how I feel when people say really, really, really dumb shit like, being fat has never been attractive. It's like, oh God. You're so stupid, it hurts. It's physically painful for me. Oh my God. Oh God, dude. I understand that it's not now, and I understand that your brain has convinced you that that is how you have to feel. But there's no such thing as objective beauty, man. It's fake. Our brains made it up. I'm so sorry. I will say, I found it, guys. I found it. This type of content, this is my shit. This is my type of shit. Decorate our client's whimsical apartment with us. You don't have to agree with all of the decisions, and you don't have to like it. This is not for everyone. Not everyone wants this much color in their apartment. However, you gotta admit, really fucking cool though, right? Really cool though. Disney Channel ass apartment. I don't know if I would want to live in this place with these particular colors. However, excellent execution in my opinion. Excellent execution. A place that has character, a place that was improved by the people that were hired. The couch is pretty fire though, yeah. However, the sad thing is, as soon as you see a couch like this, just know that it's uncomfortable. I've realized now, a lot of people just buy couches that look nice and they don't care that it's uncomfortable. You people are sick. You people are fucking sick. Some of you guys. You're sliding off that thing, you're losing your remote, your wallet, your keys, your girlfriend, your aspirations, dream, ambitions, everything that makes you you, you're losing it in between these crevices. Every single thing. Mrs. Biden's fault? Finally, somebody who's saying it as it is.
To uncover what you tried to hide. Because this isn't really a new phenomenon, it's been happening for a while now. A few decades ago, shag carpet and linoleum were being stapled and glued down to gorgeous bare hardwood floors, and now everyone's desperately trying to get rid of it. But I think social media and an unstable housing market has accelerated this cycle to the point that people are spending thousands of dollars to adhere to trends that are already starting to die out. There's also the basic fact that these renovators are taking a finite resource and destroying it to create an infinitely reproducible one. There are only so many older homes left, while there are countless homes already updated with modern furnishings. If you have a style you like, that's fine. No judgment, no matter how ugly it is, but
I do think that that's the thing that makes people really mad as well, myself
Chat
included.
every time you think you were stupid. Remember that Bolivia don't have a coast because of an island filled with bat poop and Australia lost a war to a bird DNM love.
No, maybe we're not so stupid after all, chat. Think you're the 6-month king. Yeah, I just want to say, fucking, there are so many modern houses that are gray all over the place. Like, if you spend any time at all, just like looking around, you can find 100 of these places. White walls, white molding, gray or like low saturated in color flooring. Like, these are a dime a dozen. There's a million of it. Why do you insist on buying the gorgeous one and then destroying it so it can become just one other property that already exists?
it just seems wasteful to buy a home specifically that has unique decor only to rip it all out and replace it with stuff anybody could buy off of IKEA. If you want a modern home, why not just buy a modern home or build one even? Look, I can't pretend that I'm not a little biased. Okay, a lot biased. I've shed a tear or two over houses in my local area being demolished and replaced by these monstrous monochromatic cubes, okay? But I think people are justified in getting upset at these renovation videos, and I think someone complaining about the loss of these beautiful homes doesn't necessarily make them a hater. Darla, what are you doing?
Oh, I was just taking out this wall real quick. It'll really open up the space. Don't mind me.
Darla, that's the bathroom wall.
Yes.
So typically, people have an expectation of privacy when they use the bathroom.
I don't understand.
Darla, listen to me. I know you love to DIY.
I won 3 DIY competitions this past year. They weren't competitions until I showed up.
That is concerning. I need you to understand that a little color, a little detail is okay. You don't have to get rid of it. I think if you look deep inside yourself.
What the f? Sounded like you were gonna start monologuing. I'm not getting my deposit back.
I love this channel. I fucking love this channel, dude. It's so good. Malt leftist, thank you so much. Maltese leftist, thank you so much for the tier 1. Thank you. In Austin, there's a yearly event where people who have had their houses designed by local architects open their homes to viewers, and you can walk through and check out all the cool features. That's sick. That's really cool. Malt leftist goes hard, right? It kind of does go hard. Open concept bathrooms, even more cursed than carpeted bathrooms. I hate lazy flippers. In their defense, pre-80s home have better bones than new builds. Yeah, but the problem is that they're flipping the houses and they're not keeping them. I honestly, Mikey Skeleton, by the way, thank you for the 5 months. I have no problem, honestly, genuinely. Okay, if you desperately want a plain white house with gray floors, and you want a good house with good bones in it, and so that's why you buy an older property, you know what? Sure, why not? Sure, it's your house. You're the one that has to live there. You should make it look how you want it to look. My problem is like, but why are you flipping? Why are you ruining this amazing house so you can sell it to someone else so that they can be disappointed later with the changes you made? But why? But why? Denims, what about this one? This is crazy. It's a bit gaudy for my taste. Personally, that's just me. I like things that have a little bit less happening visually. However, I know a lot of people who enjoy some opulence, okay? I know a lot of people who would see something like this and be like, yep, I want that. The stained glass ceiling is sick, though. This is objectively really sick. It's giving, we need to kill the monarchy. This is actually, as someone who's been at Hassan's house when we did the live stream, I will say this is exactly what it looked like inside, actually. This is, yes. I didn't get a chance to see the bedrooms, but I presume they looked like this. This is exactly how the bathroom looked. This was how the living room looked, actually, for sure. This is exactly how the pool area looked, for sure. It was actually Kaya who wanted it designed this way. The best part about this is like, look at all this fucking opulence and then this fucking ugly ass tiny ass TV on the gorgeous stand. Not wall mounted, just like, oh, here's a TV. uh, 2004 Sharp TV. Yeah. They were like, wait, people want to watch it at home when they're in their rooms? Fucking, I don't know. Just put a TV on that fucking table. On the table? Yeah, just put it on the table. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. When I was pet sitting a lot, I noticed people had way nicer houses with much smaller TVs. Fuck. It even has steps on the bed for you, Denims. How thoughtful. Wow. That's so nice of them and you to point it out. Hobbit phobic. Precisely. Precisely. Thank you for fucking understanding, dude.